it is really happening. I'm about to try for the first time a Lambo Super Trofeo.
Oh my god, is that the GT3?
No, this is the Super Trofeo.
And what's the difference? They are two totally different cars, and let me explain quickly. Let's start right away by understanding what GT3 means. GT3 has nothing to do with Lamborghini, because GT3 is a category of racing cars created by SRO Group in 2005. Since then, it has spread so much, becoming nowadays a standard of all cars championship around the world. So, there are many GT3 cars out there, from so many brands: Ferrari, Mercedes, Porsche, Lamborghini, all of them racing together. The Super Trofeo, on the other hand, is a one-make championship organized by Lamborghini Supertrofeo since 2009, which races all over the world, and only Lamborghini's cars race in it. There is the Super Trofeo Europe, North America, Asia, and Middle East. And then there is the World Final, which, among all the championships, determines the world champion every year. Okay, clear. And what car do they race in the Super Trofeo Championship? With the GT3? No, they race with the Lamborghini Supertrofeo. So, talking about the cars, we can say that nowadays Lamborghini's GT racing models are basically two, both of them built on the basis of the Huracan, but we're talking about two totally different cars. We have the Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo 2, which races in the GT3 championships, and we have the Lamborghini Huracan Supertrofeo Evo 2, which races in the Lamborghini Supertrofeo and other championships like, for example, the ACI Sport Italian GT Cup Championship. Two cars that look alike but are very different. And so, what are the differences? Basically, we can say that the GT3 has almost nothing in common with the road car. We can basically call this car a prototype, because it is completely designed for the track. The suspension attachments, the aerodynamics, everything designed for racing. So we're talking about a more expensive car, faster in the lap times, but slower on the straight, because the GT3 regulations limit this car's power with the BOP in order to balance the performance of every car. The Super Trofeo, on the other hand, has a lot of components that are the same as the road car. So it costs a little less, goes a little slower in lap time, but goes much faster on the straight, having no power limitations and thus unleashing 620 horsepower. Wow! I will give you more details in a moment, but first, let's see how it performs. If you live in Europe, as you guessed from the jacket, I recorded this video months ago, on a horrible rainy day.
And one thing I want to tell you is that you have to be really stupid to try for the first time a car like that in these conditions. Yeah, but I am stupid, so I'm about to do it. Tra l'altro, meno male che io sulla licenza ho scritto Alberto Naska, perché sennò quando vedi il monitor dei tempi a punto Fontana non capisci se sono io o se è lui.
È un casino.
È un casino?
È un casino.
Così se sei ultimo capisci che è lui, se sono primo
This guy is Andrea Fontana, a friend of mine that with this car races and who asked me if I want to try the car. Fun fact, my real name is Alberto Fontana, his real name is Andrea Fontana, and luckily I'm racing with the nickname Naska, because otherwise it would be impossible to distinguish the two of us by looking at the lap times monitor.
Dicevi? Se vuoi facciamo montare il doppio sedile ai ragazzi e così ti tengo la manina, stai tranquillo, va bene? Tieni questo.
My God, guys, I don't know if you understand what I'm driving. Oh my God. Oh my God, that's so fast! Guys, that's incredible. It's like driving Gran Turismo with all the driving aids on. That's insane how the electronic does everything. Look at the traction, how it works like a car. Guys, I have no words, really. This is the easiest thing I've ever driven in my whole life. It's insane.
Come la senti la macchina?
È la cosa più facile che ho mai guidato in vita mia.
Ci sta.
È devastante, raga, cioè sembra di giocare a un videogame.
Prova forte, eh.
Porca puttana.
Poi ovvio che quando arrivi al limite non è più così tanto
No, ok,
facile,
ma cazzo,
però
ma...
ti dà subito
Cioè guida una formula qua così, ti ammazzi alla prima curva, non freni, non giri.
Bene, bene. Poi ignition, start e via. Piace?
Porca puttana.
È tanta roba,
Madonna.
È tanta roba. Poi quando la prendi in mano che comunque inizia a muoversi quel pelo lì ti dà del gran godimento.
È devastante.
Poi comunque c'hai 620 cavalli, non è poca roba.
Minchia raga, mamma mia, è un'opera d'arte questa macchina, non è una macchina. Cioè dovrei guidarla più come un cane proprio?
Sì,
anche sul bagnato?
Sì. No,
Pestone, la fai ruotare giù tutto.
Sì, e cerchi di aprire presto il volante così il traction non ti taglia.
Ok.
Poi anche cercare un po' più percorrenza perché adesso la fermi veramente tanto.
Cioè la NASCAR sul bagnato tu devi mollare il freno e farla solo correre e basta. Se tu entri con un po' di trail braking inizi a perdere. Se inizi a dare il gas prima perdi. Devi proprio mollare, farla correre. Qui
Non
no,
è che
invece.
stai abbassando troppo la minima e devi portarla un po' più al limite, secondo me, semplicemente.
Guarda il freno, stiamo facendo letteralmente, posso dirlo?
Cagare.
Esattamente.
Ma anche sul bagnato devi dargli 140 bar.
Non 140 ma 100 li puoi fare tranquillamente perché tanto, cioè...
Sto facendo 30 bar. Anche se entra l'ABS me le foto, glieli do.
Sì sì, figa, c'è l'ABS apposta.
Ok.
Guys, this is insane. I mean, when I first arrived at the track in the morning and I saw the track, which was totally wet with the patches of water, I knew that the track wasn't drivable. So I went to the team and I said, guys, I don't feel like I can drive in these conditions. I mean, if it was a race, okay, but this is a test. I can't afford aquaplaning and crashing into the wall and spending 50k for the damages. I don't have them. And so at that point, the engineer and my friend Andrea look at me and say, come on, you have no idea what you're about to drive. It will be super easy. My biggest problem is that I am stupid and I trust people. So I went in, I did the session, and they were right. I didn't even feel the patches of water. Flat out, the traction control doing everything. If I had done the same with the Formula 4 or the midget, I would have been straight into the wall. It's been a long time I wasn't left speechless by a car. Can you imagine how I felt when I realized I was braking at 30 bars and I was supposed to brake at 140 bars of pressure? No way. So I'm going to tell you a couple more interesting things about the car and then we'll have another session where I can try 140 bars on wet. So what are we talking about? 600 horsepower, V10 engine, 1260 kilograms. It's actually always more because depending on the BOP and the extra weight you get, depending on the races, it always changes. Incredible about this car is the aerodynamics. It generates really a lot of downforce, but not as much as a GT3 car, obviously, because this car is closer to the road car compared to the GT3 car, okay? Which means it's less performing on the lap time, but it's actually faster on the straight because of the more powerful engine. Actually, the engine is the same, it's just the restrictions that change it. What I noticed from outside when I saw the car running is that the other driver was lifting a lot of spray from behind. That means that it has very powerful floor and a very powerful diffuser from the rear, which means it makes a great ground effect and you really feel it a lot. One thing that you probably
couldn't imagine is that you have 3 pedals, throttle, brake, and clutch. But obviously the clutch is used only to start. The electronics, 12 maps, 12 settings for the ABS, 8 for the traction control, and the electronic is really racing. You feel the traction works so good, and also the ABS, it really works good.
Davvero sì. Che tempo hai fatto?
Il giro di in stavo facendo 33.
33?
Ero sotto di 4 secondi prima della chicane.
Non sono tanto lontano.
No, anche perché la pista era molto scivolosa.
Vero?
Il primo giro ci ho messo un attimo per capirmi. Perdi tutto, quasi tutto in frenata. Però sono frenato.
Dai, oh. Pensavo peggio.
The track is drying, even if it doesn't look like, because they just changed the asphalt and it's hard to see the dry patches. If we were on a race, we would have entered with slick tires, but being this simple test, and where I don't have budget to pay the damages, I prefer to go in with rain tires and finish them. Maybe in some corners you will hear the tires screeching, but anyway, enjoy my best lap of the day on the Lamborghini Supertrofeo.
This is definitely one of the most incredible cars I've ever driven. It's just insane how fast it is, how easy it is to get the confidence to drive it. It's so fun and so exhausting, and in just 25 minutes I made it dirtier than a 24 hours race. Yeah guys, today track conditions were really bad. It's so distant from any race car that I've ever driven, and from any pure race car, because this car requires you to give a lot of steering angle, a lot of brake into the corner, full throttle immediately, take advantage of the traction control. You know, it's electronics, it's video game. It's not the idea of raw race car where you have to be perfect with the brake and the throttle. No, you just have to trust the car, bring into the corner, supersonic speeds, and then boom, full gas. I found it really easy to drive. Now, going fast is another story, okay? But this car allows you to do some things that when you're doing them, you're telling yourself, am I really doing that? That's something that left me speechless. And also, it's quite physically demanding to drive. Not for the steering, but for the brake and for the focus, because you're always fighting with the steering. So, that's it. It was just a test. Let's see what the future will bring to us.